Today's conversation is with professional natural bodybuilder Kendahl Richmond. Kendahl is an IFBB Classic Physique Pro, a two-time WNBF World Champion, and Arnold Classic Amateur Champion. Last year, he placed top 10 in his pro debut at the prestigious IFBB Pittsburgh Pro. On March 1st, he'll take the stage at the Arnold Classic amongst 11 of the world's best classic bodybuilders in his biggest challenge yet. I hope y'all enjoy this interview with my friend, Kendahl Richmond. How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I've been in the zone. I've been just keeping my head on the goal and just really just as you can see, taking this as a full opportunity, as big as it is. So I've been doing really well, feeling really confident, feeling the best I felt approaching a show, more so than like the Pittsburgh and everything else. So I'm feeling really good.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. So how long have you been prepping for this show specifically?
So I got the call because I wasn't even in motion of cardio and eating and dieting and stuff like that. So I got the call when Lloyd, the promoter, called me. It was 10 weeks out. So at 10 weeks out on the dot, it was on a Friday. 10 weeks out on the dot, he called me and was like, "Hey, Rough Diesel just he's notified us that he's opening a gym, so he's unable to compete, and you're next in line. Are you do you want to set the invite?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was 10 weeks out, and I started that same day. So 10 weeks out is pretty much when I got things going.
Man, that is crazy. How does it feel to be stepping in for somebody as legendary as Rough Diesel?
Man, it's because Ruff even DM'd me, and he was like, "Hey man, like kill it, man, like bro, like just go out there and kill it." And it was nice to feel that way too, knowing that like I'm in place of someone as legendary as Rough Diesel. I'm in place of someone as notoriety based, someone as influential as Rough Diesel. So that also gave me a sense of motivation that I have to bring it, because people are expecting him to come. I mean, not the only people who know that he's not coming really are just, I think, maybe his followers, and I mean just the ones that I kind of know what's going on. But as far as the crowd as a whole, I feel like people don't necessarily know. So I have to be a great representation in this place for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you mentioned it's going to be an incredible opportunity. It's one of the biggest stages in not only bodybuilding but all the sports. So you're
Right,
16
right.
days out from the Arnold. What's the opportunity mean to you, man?
It means everything, man. I live for these kind of moments. Since I was a kid, I've always lived for these moments where it was something as big as I am that I have the chance um, to showcase what I can do. And I've seen myself prove myself wrong many times. I've seen myself do things I thought I couldn't do at one point. And having something as grand and as big as an Arnold Classic with pros as legendary and that I look up to Breon. My entire posing style is literally Breon. Like it just I have my own taste to it, but the windmill and the flip bicep, the poetic feel, that was all inspired by Breon. And yeah, Wesley Vissers, I watch his vlogs daily. I mean, so just the opportunity to be around legends, around men that I literally on my downtime look up to and look and follow their moves and stuff like that, and to be given the opportunity to stand in the same stage in the same lineup, and hopefully be in the same conversation, which is the goal for the show is to place. It means the world to me. It gets me up in the morning. It makes me excited to be of purpose and work for something this big. So it means everything to me knowing that I have the chance to be in conversation with some of the best in the lineup, if I bring my all time best.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there are some extremely high caliber athletes in this show. Like you said, Breon, we've got Wesley Vissers, Ramon Dino, who won it last year, Urs, lots of big names. Everybody in this lineup's an Olympian.
Right.
So you're definitely gonna have to bring your best. What's gonna be your game plan? Like what kind of look are you going for at this show?
So yeah, so I've changed a lot of things this show. I've added a few things like I've added creatine, which I actually never added creatine, and any of my preps because I've always kind of been a big guy. But I've added creatine to kind of like obtain more like soluble water within the muscles to kind of get more of a full look all around. Which obviously I gain weight, I hold on to water that way, so I had to up my cardio, I had to up my eating, I've had to kind of change some things around to to present myself bubbly and of size the same way, but still be as the most conditioned I've ever been. So I mean, as you can see in my updates, I'm just now starting to see my glutes shredded. I never have before. My lower back is like completely like conditioned. I'm starting to see my chest is fully striated. Like I'm starting to see things that I've never seen before, and I feel like it's because I'm really up in my game. I haven't cheated a single day. I've done everything right. I've done I haven't even like thought of adding anything that might seduce my craving. I've like tried to really be on point with cardio, posing. I'm posing more throughout the day, trying to really be in the best posing condition. So I've changed a lot of things around with eating more cardio, more posing, and stuff like that. You know, more so than any other show because, like I said, and like Lloyd said on the phone, Lloyd was like, "Hey, if you take this invite, you have to come ready. Everyone's watching the show. The live stream is free. Every sponsors, everyone's going to be there. If you're even in the 12th place in the second call out, you're still looked at. It's the two call outs, 12 guys. So you're looked at either way. So I wanted to make sure that I hold myself of caliber size wise, still keeping myself natural, adding things like creatine. I still got my CLAs and all that kind of stuff, but just more. I've added glutamine, kind of like so I can get more recovery. A lot more beneficial for me because I'm pretty much reducing my rest days too, but I'm also listening to my body a lot more. I'm still having my refeeds here and there, kind of stuff. So a few things have changed, but like I feel very confident in how I'm approaching this show with the weight cap not being a big deal because I'm already I think it's 219 for me. I'm already 217, so I'm not worried about that. It's more about my look overall.
Yeah, so it sounds like this contest prep has been a little bit more focused on heavy in the output side of things and input. So you're doing a little bit more activity, but you're also putting more in. So
Yep.
I'm kind of curious in terms of previous peaks, because as people know, you coach yourself.
Yeah.
So in terms of your peaking strategy, do you typically go for kind of like a fuller look with more inputs, like you're putting more food in that final week, or are you typically going for more of like because it's such a hard line to toe when you're a natural guy like yourself in terms of
Hmm.
maintaining a great look, because there's more margin for error in terms of like if you go too hard with the fullness, you're going to lose all the detail and you might not look as conditioned. So like what might be the approach at this year's Arnold Classic for your peaking process?
Yeah. So I've every show I've done, I've changed my peak. I really haven't done. Excuse me. I really haven't done the same peak every show, and I've always came in pretty good. I've had some shows that came in a little bit better. I feel like this time around, I'm not going to do things like cut water. Like, if anything, just the weigh in day. I feel like the water has helped benefiting me with what I've added into my training, like the creatine, certain foods, that kind of stuff. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. I've had rest days holding the same water intake and everything, and I've even woke up leaner. So I don't feel it's necessary to, and I've had rest days completely. I'm talking about no cardio in the morning, nothing, and I followed the same protocol, just lowered the calories a little bit, brought the fats up a little bit to kind of be in more of a ketosis stasis. But um, I've woken up leaner, so I've seen that the water and everything is keeping me at homeostasis. So there's no reason to cut it. So I'm gonna pretty much like approach it in a regular training week, kind of train more in depletion stages, high volume, less intensity, keep the same foods in, I keep the same things in, and pretty much just approach it like a regular week until about weigh-ins come. Then I'm kind of going to strip away the carbs, stuff like that, because I'm already on point with my weight, so that's not a big deal for me. Which I feel like is going to bring me in a lot smoother in how I want to, because I don't have to make weight per se. As urgently as like maybe some guys who have a lot of size and they have to make weight. and then slowly load a little bit after weigh-ins, add the carbs in, like more carbs of more like high glycemic index. They got like my red potatoes and other stuff like that to kind of like and I've had days where I've ended off with a cheat meal. Okay, how does my body look in the morning? I've had days where I've had a burger for my last meal and I woke up. So I've tried different trials and errors. Being self-coached, I like to have like a 3-day rule. I'll try something new for 3 days. See how my body feels. Okay, we'll do a carb load this day. Let's try a burger at the end of the day. Let's try 700 carbs. So I've kind of played around with some things here and there, and I feel like I know exactly how to approach this peak week with loading it, playing it safely, but still understanding like I've seen what works with my body for this prep. So I feel like it's going to be a lot smoother with this peak, with me not having to make weight and me being confident in how I've kind of like managed this prep a lot better.
Yeah, you talk about, how well you've managed this prep, trying a lot of different things. You're just about 2 weeks out, which is the
I
home
know.
stretch. It's usually the hardest part of prep, right? So I'm kind of curious, do you ever have challenging moments mentally or physically during prep? And if so, what kind of keeps you going?
I do have really challenging moments. For some reason, I felt really good for this one. I didn't have much time. I know I'm approaching 2 weeks out, but I've had some low carb days. I've had some really strenuous cardio days where I'm just like, man, I don't want to be here. But I felt really good because I think the excitement of it is overflowing me to the point to where I don't mind like the 2 hours of cardio. I don't mind the training at 80 grams of carbs because it's such a big opportunity that I'm not even really thinking about dragging my feet or being tired, not getting up. Like what wakes me up is I literally have the poster of me with the Arnold invite as my wallpaper. I look at that, I'm up out of bed. So it's like I think for this one, it's like I feel like the opportunity being so big and being that it's literally like a red carpet treatment. Like they're sending me emails saying, "What's your jacket size for your Arnold Classic?" Jumpsuit. What's your, reservations for all competitors. Like all this red carpet treatment from them paying for the flight, the hotel. It's like I'm invited to this, and I feel like that's what's getting me through these hard days, and I don't even think about it as much. And I also think about how much this means to me and how I want to come in. And I've seen myself low. I've seen myself get out of bad points. I've seen what I can achieve. I won my pro card. I won world titles. I was in the conversation of a top 10 finish at one of the hardest shows, the Pittsburgh Pro, and I beat 14 other guys in that top 10. So I've seen what I can do. So that also gives me encouragement that like, okay, what makes me feel like I can't place in this show. I can't be an Olympian. I've beaten pros. I've gotten my pro card naturally. What else can I do? And that also inspires me to like go to keep moving forward on those hard days because I'm like my goal is to place. If I can be an Olympian, I'm leaving the show happy. If I can, I don't care if I'm 10 out of 12, 11. I don't care if I'm. I believe confidently I can be 8. I really believe that. But if I can be 10 out of 12 or whatever, and I can beat a few Olympians, that naturally that is a statement alone that I can walk away happy, fine, So that keeps me going, knowing that like I have a whole community behind me of natural guys in my DMs every day, just giving me words of affirmation and like, bro, keep going, like you inspire me. I'm like, I can't slow down with guys like that in my DM. I can't quit. I can't not go harder if I got guys sending me paragraphs that don't know who I am. They just know of me. You know what I mean? So that also kind of
Yeah,
gives me
absolutely,
encouragement that
man.
like, man, I can't slow down, man. I got to keep going. I got to, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, so I'm curious, man. So when you turned pro, it was a very big deal. I mean, I was there covering the show, and you came out of nowhere.
right,
It was your second NPC show, and nobody had any idea who you were. Like outside, like at least in the NPC IFBB
right,
scene. I
right.
mean, you were already big in like the WNBF and whatnot, having won 2 world titles. But like, you came out, you won one of the most prestigious amateur shows in the world as a natural, and then social media definitely took notice. But the one comment that I saw pretty consistently from people was they're like, "Oh, it's great that he won the Arnold Amateur, but like you're never going to do anything naturally, like as a pro. Like
Right.
you're never going to place, you're never going to do all this stuff." What do you have to say to people who think like that?
I find it as another means of encouragement. I've always been an underdog. I've been someone that for my whole life, literally, I've been someone that was doubted upon. So when I see things like, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that, it gives me encouragement because I work really well under pressure. I take criticism really well. And I'm someone that my actions showcase what I can do rather than verbally speaking. But I feel like with those people, because they follow me, those same people who follow me, those same people look at my stories. So they obviously are attracted to exactly like what I can do or what I'm doing. So it gives, so that's one thing. And then two, I feel like um, I feel like that it shows that I'm being noticed, whether negatively or positively, and I'm making a statement in some way. Like because if I'm investing time to say something about somebody bad, that means that I'm affected by something in some way. Like so, I wish I could do this naturally. I wish I didn't have to do this. I would take it as someone who says things to me like that, they feel something like that, where it's like, okay, he can't do something as a pro, but I got top 10 at the Pittsburgh Pro, which is one of the biggest shows. But then after that, it's like, oh, he can't get top five. He can't win a pro show. So I feel like no matter what I do, there's always going to be those people. And I feel like it just shows that I'm making success. I mean, like, you know what they say, like, if you don't have haters, you're not doing nothing. So I feel like there's people that like hate because of the fact that like I'm actually doing it, and they wish that like they could probably be in that position or something like that. Then there's those people that like look at it and they're um, like wow, like I'm highly inspired by this, but I don't want to really give him his, you know, the sense of like giving him his flowers or whatever. But I say like in actuality, like anybody can do it. I realized it's not much politics because I won it naturally. I became a pro naturally. I became a pro without a brand. I didn't have nothing on me backstage but a black hoodie and baggy sweats, while some of these guys were having decked out sponsored jackets and coaches and stuff like that. So it letting me know also that like this is not politics as people say it is. Because otherwise, I wouldn't be top 10 Pittsburgh Pro. I wouldn't get my pro card. My skin is not as thin as theirs naturally. I don't have a certain amount of thin skin conditioning, but I came in good enough to where I was able to get it. And I feel like it just shows the possibilities that you can do if you really just like, you know, use that as encouragement. Have a strong work ethic, be confident in yourself, and you'd be surprised what you can do with an NPC. You'd be surprised what you can be rewarded with if you really just don't worry about people like that and use it as motivation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we mentioned there's a lot of heavy hitters in the Arnold Classic
Oh
lineup.
yeah, there's,
Who are
there's,
some
there's
of
a
the
lot of them. Yeah, and
who
and
are
and
you
and, and,
most
and,
looking
and, like,
forward to
and like you
standing
said,
next to?
the best lineup, as you said.
Oh yeah, easily the best lineup ever. I mean, like 11 Olympians is crazy. So who are you looking forward to standing next to?
Man, Breon, dude. Like I said, Breon, like literally, he's a big inspiration for me. I met Breon too, but just to compete against him would be big. Hopefully I can stand next to him and pose and see some video of it. I would love it. Breon, Wesley Visitors. I met Ramon, of course. Ramon, I mean, top two runner up for years. It would be nice to see how I stand against the best, besides a Chris Bumstead. I love Urs. There's only a few pros I actually follow that I look up to. Urs is one of them. So yeah, Urs, Ramon, Breon, and Wesley are the ones that I'm mostly looking forward to. I've competed against Damien. I've actually followed some guys too that are on the lineup that we're just sharing respect with each other. I'm looking forward to like standing against Damien again, so that'll be great. Being that I saw him at New Mexico, um, and that's pretty much the big ones. Some of the other guys I don't really know. I haven't heard of, but I looked them up and I've done my research. So I'm always looking forward to meeting Olympians. But I would love to have a good conversation with Breon and Wesley. um, and uh, and Urs and Ramon for sure.
Yeah, so you've mentioned that you're looking forward to standing among the best here at the Arnold Classic. You've won 2 natural world titles in the WNBF, won the biggest amateur show in bodybuilding arguably last year, which was the Arnold Amateur. So, I mean, you're racking up all these accomplishments, man, and it seems like your trajectory is just continuing to go upward. So, I mean, you've done all of this in your 20s. So, do you ever think about legacy, and what do you think you want to be your legacy long term?
I feel like my legacy long term is that I just want to be a representation and a pioneer that anything is actually possible. I know you hear that a lot. I know a lot of people speak about it, but I want my actions and what I provide and left behind to showcase that you really can go against the grain and do anything if you really just confidently believe that you can do it. Because like I said, I've stood next to some talented people. Like, I mean, Corey's one of them. I mean, I've stood next to really talented people and became friends with these people too. I mean, outside of competing, I've made some great friendships and stuff. And I feel like if you really are confident, believe that you can do it, you can really make it happen, and you have to be relentless with it. And I feel like my actions show that. I mean, my stories. Every time I have an affirmation on my story, a caption, or I'm speaking to myself, or you know, I'm giving myself encouragement. I want that to be seen that this is really who I am, and I show it consistently, day by day, on my stories and out to the world. How I am in the trenches, how I am when I'm working towards something, and then when you see the outcome come out exactly how I said it was, it just goes to show that you have to manifest and you have to future forecast yourself visualizing it happening. And every time I'm on that cardio machine, every time I'm doing working out, I'm visualizing myself, you know, uh, doing exactly what I had planned. And I set myself to a high standard. And I feel like if you set yourself to a standard and you work towards that standard, you will achieve some great things. And I hope that my actions and what I showcase on my social medias to people I don't know, to a wider audience. I hope that they can see that in that consistently I'm staying in vision of what I want to do. I want a place. I want to be ready. I want to bring my best. And I want my actions to showcase that like if you really put in the work and do as you said that you would do, great things will happen.
And that's definitely a great take home message for anybody listening, regardless of what level you're at. Um, so maybe on a less serious note, some people pick up certain things during prep. Like, do you have any hobbies you like to do outside of bodybuilding? Is there anything that you enjoy during contest prep to maybe like take your mind off of just the intensity and constantly focusing? Is there anything that like helps you unwind or relax?
But outside
Yeah.
the gym and competing, I'm really just like a big character. I love to have fun. I love to go out on trips, road trips, and shop, do fun things, fun activities, bowling, golf, gun range. I do a lot of fun things outside of when I'm like ambitious and driven towards a goal like that. I love to draw. I love to read. I'm a big anime guy. Um, there's a lot of things people don't really know about me outside of the competitive side. And I love to do a lot of things like for fun. I'm really just a big character. I'm also like goofy. I like to just be just goofy and sarcastic and stuff like that. Which I mean, we've had conversations and you see me like light up and just be funny and stuff like that because I'm really like that. But of course, like when I'm like in the zone and like all that kind of stuff, like I really am like that. But then the other side of me is just like I'm just cracking jokes, I'm laughing, stuff like that. So I'm a big character. I love to do fun. I'm always down for a good time. um, I know for sure after the Arnold, when everything's said and done, I'm going to definitely just celebrate after this hard prep and just have a good time. So for sure.
Yeah, as you should, man. It's one of the biggest shows in bodybuilding. It's a monumental achievement to even get there. So I definitely think celebration is well
Oh yeah.
deserved, man.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I can already smell the cookies and everything else after the show.
So yeah, man. Before we wrap up, I was just curious. Is there anybody you want to shout out? Do you just want to like give like a short message to your supporters? Anything like that?
Yeah, shout out Core Nutritions. With Core Nutritionals, I'll be at their booth at the Arnold too on Saturday. So I'll be rocking their booth and everything like that on Saturday. So shout out to them. A lot of natural guys are sponsored by Core Nutritionals, so it would be an honor to not only compete but to be on their booth as well. Come to the show. Uh, and just shout out to my everyone that supports me, man. I mean, like, they honestly keep me going. There's only so much that I can be driven about myself, um, that that creates a mental fatigue. And these people who follow me, man, and comment, message, DM. I get a lot of DMs too. I go through them on my downtime, and it's like paragraphs of guys that have followed me for the longest time, and they're like, "Man, you encourage me to want to like do this and do that, and like because of you, I did this. Because of you, I did that." So, shout out to everybody that supports me, that follows me. Whether you verbally say something or you don't, whether you sent me a DM or you haven't, just being a supporter, just being encouraged by me, it gives me life. It makes me move forward. And of course, family, everybody in my close circle that all that has always like supported me as well. So supporters really just make this happen for me as well.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time,
Yeah, of course,
especially
man.
being 2 weeks out and everything, bro.
I know I'm on low
Thank you
cars,
so
but
much, bro.
I'm on low cars, but I gotta have energy for you. I gotta have some sort of energy to
I
talk to you, of
appreciate
course.
you, bro. Well, hey, man, best of luck. I'm sure you and I are going to talk before the show, but I'll definitely be seeing you there,
We'll
man.
talk. We'll talk because I'll be
Yeah,
there
we'll
a few
have to
days
chop it
myself.
up. All right, y'all. So before we finish the video today, if you want to support Kendahl, you can find him here on Instagram. His tag is its_Kendahl. That is its_KENDAHL. He also offers coaching. So if you're looking for a coach right now, whether you're a lifestyle client or potentially someone who wants to get into bodybuilding, find him here. And also, if you like the content that I'm putting out, whether it's the interviews, the highlights, the previews, the predictions, or maybe you just like talking classic, you can follow me here on Instagram. My handle is CPC Bodybuilding for all of the best classic updates. Also, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video for the algorithm. Very close to 1,000 subscribers. And stay tuned for more Arnold Classic coverage coming soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.